Welcome back, everyone. Fantasy Football Weather Guys for Championship Weekend. We got a special show today. We got some news, some kind of weather events we're checking out. I'm joined here with meteorologist Sean Brad, and I'm your host, Colin Golzinski. Sean, how you doing?
I'm feeling great here, Colin. We're going into the AFC NFC Championship. We got Packer, Tampa Bay football. We got KC Bills football. I'm personally rooting for the Bills. Colin, I think you feel similar.
Oh, let's go Bills. You know, I got to say, it's an interesting fact that this is a repeat of Week 6. The only difference of this is that I think the home teams have switched.
Yes, you're right. There is a switch in the home teams.
So Kansas City played in Buffalo, and if we remember, there was a weather event during that game. There was some wind and some rain, and it was a low-scoring game, and then they were down in Tampa, right, for the Packers game?
Yeah, they were down in Tampa, and that is when, unexpectedly, Aaron Rodgers, in his glory this year, got decimated by Tampa Bay. That was a 10-38 smackdown by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on the Green Bay Packers. I don't think that's going to be the case this week, but Week 6, that was a rough one.
We'll get to that in a second. We do have some exciting news on two different fronts. The Fantasy Football Weather Guys team has expanded +1, but it's more in the Fantasy Football Weather Guy baby. Nick Schiraldi, Dr. Nick Schiraldi, and his lovely wife Kathy just had their first child, healthy. Mother and child are doing great, so we're excited for Nick and his new family. And then we were also featured, Fantasy Football Weather Guys was featured, but Sean had a feature interview on local news channel 5 in Green Bay. Why don't you talk about that?
Yeah, first I just want to shout out to Nick and Kathleen. Really, congratulations to you both. So happy to hear the good news. We did an interview with Ryan Morris of News Channel 5 of Green Bay, and they were interested in learning a little bit more about how teams experience weather in football in general, but more specifically in Lambeau. And we are monitoring some weather in Lambeau. We originally were monitoring a snow event. We think that snow event will be passing to the east by game time, but we will have some colder temperatures. So Ryan was intrigued, like, hey, how does weather influence performance? Travel to Green Bay, and how do teams just play in Green Bay in general when we're in these snowy, windy conditions, cold conditions?
And for our viewers, we'll put the link on our website, and I'll put it when I put this video on YouTube. The link will be in the description too. So, give Ryan some love on his channel by watching the video. Support him out in Green Bay. We really appreciate him reaching out to us. You can see the story also on Twitter. He retweeted us. So at FFWeatherguys, you can find us, or at his Twitter. I think it's in our Twitter. I'll get that for us. I'll come back. So Sean, I'm going to bring us up to the weather map. I'm going to bring up the United States, and I'm going to let you talk through what we're kind of seeing as potential. And that's really what I want to emphasize, and I know you want to emphasize. This week is potential. It is a potential for some things where we don't have any caution, we don't have any extreme. Our weather table's in the green, but we want to come to you. We want to just kind of, Sean will walk you through what we're seeing. So I'm going to bring the map up. The map's up. So I have it at 12Z Sunday. I still have no idea what the time that is, but I think it's
that's early morning. That's morning on Sunday.
Yeah. So where do you want me to go with the map?
Yeah, so, we can just start here. That's fine. So originally, earlier on in the week, we were getting excited. Specifically, I was getting excited because a lot of the models are trending to this being a snow event during game time in Green Bay. However, what model consensus is now is that this system's going to move a little quicker, and it should be clearing out by game time. There may still be some lingering snow showers, maybe some flurries. But
game time for Green Bay is on Saturday, right? So Green Bay's playing Saturday.
No, they're not.
Oh, they're both on Sunday. Sorry. Wow.
Yep. We got both games Sunday. Yep. Yeah.
Keep going.
If it was Saturday, that would have been a different story. This actually would have been potentially a big snow event. But no, they're midday. They're 2:00 Central Time. around there on Sunday. So that system should pass by to the east. So Colin, if you go through one more time step here, you're going to see that system that's over the northern plains, over the northern Midwest, and it's going to pass over the Great Lakes. Again, there may be some lingering snow showers there, but we don't expect this to be an impactful event in terms of snow. Now, we are going to have some colder temperatures filtering in. Now, Green Bay this time of year, the mid-20s is not considered really cold. It's just not. We've seen
T-shirts and flip-flops in Lambeau at 20 degrees.
I mean, yeah, you'll see guys out there shirtless out in 25 degrees. That's like summer for them. I mean, we've seen postseason games go back to the game that the Giants played for the 07-08 Super Bowl. I'm sorry, that was the NFC Championship game, but it was like below freezing. Are actually below zero with wind chill. So this isn't going to be as cold, not nearly as cold. So we're not as concerned even with temperatures, but it is worth mentioning and bringing it up.
So going on to the Kansas City game.
Yeah.
So we're going ahead. Nope, I went too far.
You could go ahead one more there, Colin. So what we have here is we have another system that's developing. We call this lee side cyclogenesis. So there's going to be a system forming lee of the Rockies, and it's going to develop over Oklahoma and Texas, as you can see here. Now, this is approaching early evening on Sunday. And so Colin, if you point out Kansas City Stadium here, yep, right there. So you may say, oh, well, it doesn't look like anything's going to reach Kansas City for game time. And that could be the possibility, but what we are looking as that a boundary may be setting up over that Kansas City area, over the Kansas-Missouri kind of border area, that could bring some wintry precip if it's cold enough, or maybe even some rain showers. So right now, again, we're not expecting this to be a full game event where it's going to be torrential downpours like we saw back in October when these two teams faced off. But we may get some showers. They may, if this band does move further enough north, we may see some increased rain rates. And things could get messy for a couple quarters. So it is definitely worth mentioning and taking a look at because if the models start trending, in which some of the higher resolution models are starting to do over this area, we may need to take that into consideration.
Yeah, so again, watching some games. It'll be a fun weekend. I mean, it's an interesting weekend. You know, you got Mahomes on concussion protocol. You know, the craziest thing about what could happen to me is, and I was thinking this, is you could have a Bills-Brady Super Bowl, right? You could have the Bills, who have been tormented by Tom Brady for 20 years, could go to their 5th Super Bowl, and then you could have Brady on the other side. I think, I mean, that to me would be the best Super Bowl that could happen. But the game.
I honestly don't care who on the NFC side is in there. I just want the Bills in there. I mean, Bills Mafia is going crazy. I have a lot of friends that are Bills fan. They're all in. They're excited. They haven't been in the postseason or at least a successful postseason in 25 years, and I'm just super pumped for them. And we'll see if weather plays an event. If we go back to Green Bay quickly. During cold games, there are positions that are impacted, such as wide receivers and QBs. And this is something I was talking about with Ryan when we were talking about Lambeau. And it's really funny when you look at the distribution for positions about how players are playing in colder conditions or even snowy conditions. You see kind of two groups. One group that perform fine. They do okay in these cold, snowy conditions. Even sometimes better. And then you have another group that don't do as well. And it's like everyone in the group that does okay or even better is all Green Bay players, and everyone else is the visiting team. And so typically you go in here and say, oh, man, like we saw Ryan Tannehill come to Green Bay when it was snowing, and he did a really, really poor performance for him, unfortunately, in that game. But now you have Tom Brady, who's a seasoned veteran in cold conditions. We maybe see a slight drop-off in him in cooler conditions as far as his number of passing yards, his passer rating, even if you look at his fantasy points. But I think this is really just going to be more of a defensive battle in this game. Packers defense giving up less than 20 points 5 of the last 6 games. Tampa Bay showing their stuff against the New Orleans Saints last week. They're looking like they're getting strong in the secondary. It's going to be what quarterback is going to be able to find the holes.
It's interesting though because on that article or the news story that Ryan did, he put a stat up that I think Tampa's 0-9 at Green Bay. But I don't think that Tampa has ever had a seasoned cold weather quarterback. So
but now he's a warm weather quarterback. He hasn't really been in these conditions, or at least used to these conditions.
You think 20 years of his body forgets? I think it'll be right at home for him.
Yeah.
So it'll be a good game. It'll be fun.
What we'll see here is that Tom Brady is going to keep the ball short. I think Jair Alexander, the Pro Bowl corner for Green Bay, who's been locking people down, I think he's going to be going up against Mike Evans. I think he's going to take away that option. I think Tom Brady knows that. He's going to be looking to Antonio Brown, Godwin, maybe Gronk to open up the field a little bit. And the big thing, I think they're going to establish their run. Leonard Fournette and Ronald Jones have been doing a better job on the ground here. They've really been opening up, and I think they're going to establish the run, and I think they're going to, this game's going to be a slow-moving game, and I think Tampa Bay is going to be methodical here.
Speaking about the run, why don't we switch gears to the Kansas City game? If there is rain, CEH was a workhorse in the last Bills game in the rain.
Yeah. Go
ahead.
It was really crazy. Yeah, I mean, last year he had 26 carries, over 160 yards, no TDs. But, is that Andy Reid's game plan going in? And especially if it's raining against the Bills, is that still a weakness that he sees where he's just going to be grounding and pounding the whole game with Clyde Edwards-Helaire? He's been progressing this week. He did have an injury. It does look like he's going to play. But especially if Patrick Mahomes is not playing, he's still in concussion protocol. I think CEH, if he gets the ball or if he's in, which I do think he will play, I think he's going to get a heavy workload. So I think he could be a benefactor, especially if we start to see rain in these games.
Is there anything else you want to touch on, Sean? I know we were kind of speed round, but I don't want to cut you off before I end it.
No, I think that's all. I mean, all of this is hypothetical. It really depends on if the KC does get that rain going through. Last time we saw Josh Allen playing in the rain, we do see a dip in his performance when he does play. Last time he played KC, he only had 122 yards. He did have 2 TDs and an interception, but he was limited. So if we have rain here, I'd expect Josh Allen and their offense to maybe stutter a little bit, maybe not be as efficient. But we'll have to provide updates as toward the end of the week, toward game time, and let you know what's happening on that front.
Yep, follow us at FFWeatherguys on Twitter. Word of the week right now is potential. There's potential that the Bills make the Super Bowl. There's potential that there could be weather, and I think there's 100% guarantee that the games will be fun this weekend. So as
there's
always,
at least one guarantee.
There's one. It's as I like to say, it's a Golzinski guarantee. I don't throw those out there much, but when you do, you got to catch them. See what I did? Another football reference.
I like that one there. You caught it, right?
Yeah,
I like that.
I caught it. You catch what I'm
Hopefully like Stephon Diggs this week against KC.
That's right. Want to shout out again. Thank you to Ryan Morse from Local News Channel 5, Green Bay. That was awesome that he reached out. Really appreciate him reaching out, getting Sean on there. We'll have the link to that. And enjoy championship week. Super Bowl's around the corner, and then we think about our next season. Anything else, Sean?
No, that's it. And yeah, that'll probably be our last show here because Super Bowl's in Tampa. But we wish everybody the best of luck moving forward here, and we're looking forward to a little bit more playoff football before the Super Bowl.
Yeah, enjoy. Thanks, everyone. Have a great weekend.